The Coach Curl podcast is brought to you by Think and Grow Business, the home of the Think and Grow Business Mastermind. If you're serious about growing your business, get serious and join a mastermind group today. Find out more at thinkandgrowbusiness.com.au.
Hey there, it's Coach Curl here, and welcome to episode 144 of the Coach Curl podcast. Make every day part of your good old day.
Way to go. Keep it going. Good job, guys. All right, Paul, I see you. Finish on. Coach Curl.
Hey there and welcome. It's Coach Curl here and welcome to the podcast. It's episode 144 and today I just want to share a couple of quiet reflections that I've had just of recent times. It's the last month, I guess, has been fairly tumultuous for myself. I've been intensely involved in some really fantastic delivery for a number of clients. There's been some project work that I've needed to get into. As well as that, I've received some real clarity around my ongoing book strategy. I've been really sort of stuck in many ways about progressing on my writing and getting my books out. But I got some real clarity over the last month during these incredibly hectic times. So I'm really excited about what that can look like going forward. It's been a busy time. It's been satisfying, that's for sure. I've had workshops, I've had weddings, and this week I had a funeral. And the funeral was sort of like a bit of a full stop exclamation mark on the month that I've had. It caused me the most reflection, as they always tend to do. And I'm sure that you've had experience when you've gone to a funeral and it's caused you to think in so many different ways. At the funeral on Tuesday for an old mate called Jeff, we got to celebrate his life. We get to honour him, and we get to support and give support to the family and those that are left behind. But as happens at funerals, we don't just think about the one that we're there to honour. We think of all the ones that we've lost. So in my case, I think openly about my parents, Bryson and Janice. I lost my dad when I was 21. I lost my mum in 2011. I think about my baby brother who never got past the first day of life, unfortunately. I think about friends, relatives. I think about the families of some of the closest friends that I've had that I've attended their funeral. Our thoughts at a funeral will often turn to the people that we've lost, and we reflect on them just as much as we're reflecting on the one that we're there to honour. We share stories, we share toasts, we share laughs, and then we head back to our lives. We make statements like, we've got to start living. We make commitments around what it is that we should be doing. It's a wake-up call. All this sort of language starts to come in, and then we head back to our lives. Some people return to work. Some people kick on at the wake. We talk of the good old days. We speak of memories. We speak of moments. Moments of love. Moments of being present. Moments that make up our lives. And that's what we do every day, really. We make moments. We make moments. Moments that at some later time we may reminisce about, we may think back to, we may reflect on the moments that we're creating today as the good old days. Moments that bring a smile to our face, moments that we make by being present, by living close, by sharing love, by sharing joy. That's what we do every day. We make moments. So making every day part of the good old days is something that I'm really consciously aware of. Consciously aware of. You know, we see there's a revival at the moment of reminiscence, for want of another word. There's a revival there of moments and memories. On our social media, we see groups that share, you know, the old photos, the historical photos of places, towns and cities. We see, like I belong to a number of those groups. I belong to a wonderful group called Coast Locals Then and Now, which is all about the Sunshine Coast. I grew up on the Sunshine Coast, and I went to primary school at the Sunshine Coast at Maroochydore. I learned to surf at Maroochydore. And seeing all those photos of the Maroochydore that I remember, as opposed to the thriving city that it's being progressing to be, always brings a smile. Lost Gold Coast brings a smile. You know, I went to high school in Brisbane, but as soon as we got our cars, we were down the coast, down the Gold Coast as often as possible, and seeing those photos of those times always brings a smile. I met my wife in Townsville from 88, and seeing photos in Lost Townsville and groups like that, once again, just brings a smile. Always brings a smile. But I also see the lament from some of the comments from other people who are also seeing the photos. They're, of course, thanking people for their memories there, but they're also lamenting the change in the progress. Some of them criticize the world that it's become, and a lot of people wish that they were back in what they term as those simpler times. And maybe they were simpler times. I mean, primary school for me was a pretty simple time. I didn't have a mortgage. I didn't have to worry about a job. I'd get up early and go for a surf, then ride my treadly to school, get home from school as quickly as I can and go for a surf. Of course, they were simple times. But today, where we stand today is the result of everything that we've been through. So who you are today is the result of everything that you've been through. All the good times, the bad times, the tough times, the sad times, the happy times. All of that's rolled into you now. The person you are is a result of everything that you've been through. Which, once again, just keeps bringing me back to that whole concept of living today, being present, stopping the mindless scrolling. Be available, be authentic for your loved ones. That's how memories are made. That's how moments are made. Living for today. And by doing that every day, we get a chance to add a day to the good old days when we reflect back later on. Give love, give support to those people around you. Make new memories, make today be part of your good old days. Hey, thanks for tuning in. As always, I hope that there was some great value there. It's been a really reflective experience for me. It's always horrible to lose someone that you're close to at one stage of your life. You know, life is life, unfortunately, and we do say goodbye, or unintentionally even say goodbye to some people in our lives. You know, it's some people that potentially you were really close to at certain stages. But hopefully there was some value there that you could take on board. As always, you can always support the podcast by clicking on any of the supplier links that we'll have in the description. You can join the Academy, you can buy the book, you can check out Think and Grow Business, you can sign up for your free trial at Totally Builderall. All of those help keep the podcast going. So thank you once again for listening. Don't forget, where you are, you're standing stronger, braver, and wiser. And as you know, I've got a golden rule, and you know what it is. Just don't be an arsehole. I'll see you next time.